Namaste बच्चों, खुश रहो आप लोग. So today, before discussing the topics that is based on operating system, we first introduce myself. I'm Muskan Kumari and I'm the faculty of CSC department. Okay, so your topic will be discussed today that name is the some commands, or you can say that some essential commands or important commands which is basically used in your Linux operating system. Okay, to getting the services from that operating system. So I'm going to share the screens that will help you to understanding the all commands in easily way. Okay, so here this is the step. The some essential Linux commands. Why you are saying the Linux commands? Because the commands which we are implementing over the Linux operating system. So these commands is known as the Linux commands. And what do you mean by the shell? Shell is a special type of the client program. Okay, special type of the client programs that is basically creates the interface between which users, or you can say that clients, to utilize the operating system services. Now I'm going to again tell what I have told you, that the sale is basically a special type of the client program or the user programs which is used to create interface between the users and the operating system services to accessing the operating system services, like you are using the Linux operating system in Linux operating systems in your laptop and you want to access some services of that operating system, so you use the commands, you use the some commands, and that commands is known as here save. Okay, save acknowledges the intelligible orders from the client. Intelligible orders from the clients in the sense, intelligible orders, that is basically the cell or the commands which you want to use to access any services of that particular operating system, and that operating system is known as here Linux operating system. Okay, so, intelligent orders from the clients is that the users using some specific commands to access some specific service, or they want to perform some specific task, right? So intelligible orders from the clients and convert them into the some things which kernel can understand, and convert them into the some things which kernel can understand. It means that the whatever the programs or the set of the commands is used by the user or clients on that particular operating systems, that is converted into the the another forms, and that form of the languages is understood by the kernel. Okay, so it is a command language interpreter. So we can also say that the Sail is a command language interpreter, in the sense that whatever the commands you are using to accessing certain services of the operating systems, that is interpreted into the machine language form. Okay, the machine language form in the sense that the system or the computers can easily understand that what you want to access from that particular operating system, and they execute that command read from the input devices. It means that you are putting that commands with the help of input devices. Okay, and that commands will be interprets and executes your commands and gives you the output. For example, keyboard or from files. Keyboard or from the files. In the sense you are using input with the help of keyboards, and you are putting the inputs with the help of the existing files. Okay, Created files. The sale begins when client sign in and starts the terminal. When the sale will execute. Whenever you will say that the sale are working properly, it will work only when the clients or the users get sign in or they are using the terminal where we are writing the commands. Okay, we are using the commands in the terminal. Now, several commands are used in the Linux to know the list of contents, like the to know the where is your contents are stored. Okay, where is your in which directory your contents have stored, and print the working directory in which directory you are working. You want to show that where you are working, where you are currently working and storing the files. To accessing that present directory or print that working directory and create a new file or directory. If you want to store some files, important files, by creating a new files and new directory, then you can easily create a new directory with the help of the commands and print line of the text. So these all commands are done, these all services are done by the Linux command. Okay, like see here, ls. ls is a listing. ls is basically used to list all the contents or all the existing file on that particular operating systems. Like you are using whatever the systems you are using, and in that system your Linux operating system is already installed. Then you use terminals and type this command ls. Then they will show all the directory which is created in your, which is already exists in your system, like desktop, downloads, music, public, video, documents. Okay. Now, pwd commands. What do you mean by the pwd commands? The pwd command is basically used to print the path of current directory or in which you are working. Okay, or in which you are working, that shows the current directory. Like if you are writing the commands like pwd, then it shows that, like see here, it is showing here home/bob. That means you are working on the home, you are working on bob directory, and this bob directory is situated, and this bob directory is under the home directory. Okay, so this is showing here that home/bob, in the sense bob directory is considered under the home directory. Now mkdir command. This is basically used for make directory. Okay, make directory. It is used for creating new directory by using this commands mkdir make directory. You must specify the name of the directory, whatever directory you want to create in that operating systems. You have to specify that name. Okay, if no path is specified, the directory is created inside the working directory. Like suppose here I have told you that home/bob. If you are not, if you are not specify the name of the directory that you want to store some files in another directory and giving the name of that directory like RAM. If you haven't mentioned the directory name RAM, then, and suppose this is your current directory in which you are working and you want to create a new directory, that's name will be RAM. If you doesn't specify the name of that directory, then all the files will be saved under the this current directory. Okay. Now, make directory is basically used to specify the name. Like see here that these all are the listing of all the directories which are already stored in your system. Okay, and this is my folder is another directory. This is created by mk directory commands to storing the files. In this picture you can see that we have created a directory that's name is my folder. Using the mk directory commands, we have displayed the contents of the directory. And I have already told you, whenever you want to see all the listed, all the contents of that any particular directory, then you use the ls command. So To display the contents of the directory, current directory, and whatever the directory you want to see on the contents, you use only the ls commands with the directory name. Now echo commands. Echo command is basically used to output the current screen, whatever the output text to the current screen. It shows the output text to the current screen. That whatever you want to print, whatever you want to show as being the output, you simply type the echo and then text you would like to display. Whatever you want to display on that, okay, it is done by the echo command. Like see here, the echo and they have typed hello world. So as being a output, hello world is printed here in this terminal. Now WHOMI home command. What is this? Home command displays the username of the current services. Like your name is Bob. Here this is showing that the Bob, or you use the Muskan or whatever you want to use in that particular directory name, whatever the directory name, like your directory name is Ram, and you are working on that directory, you are storing some files on that directory, then only using this command WHOEMI, this command will show the current directory name in which you are working, like Bob. Then here it can show the whatever the administrator's name to using the terminals. Now CD command. CD command is basically used to change the current working directory. We use the CD commands, like you must specify the path of the directory you would like to access. If you want to access any directory name, then you have to mention the path. Path like what? Like Bob slash desktop slash whatever the directory are used and whatever the files you want to use from that particular directory. You have to specify the path. Like see here, okay. Now come here the PWD command. PWD command is basically what? It's showing the directory name, and you want to see the list commands. PWD commands is basically used to show the current directory name, and ls is used to so all the contents are used under that directory. Okay, all the folders, all the names, all the contents. And here cd commands is basically used to change the directory name. Okay, like if you want to uh, use, if you are using the documents directory and you want to store that files in the downloads directory, then you type only cd download. Then here will be your paths generated, home slash bob slash document slash downloads. In the sense, in download directly you share your all files will be saved, right? There are some other files and directories are listed here. That's not like cat. Cat command is basically used to concat and print the data. Okay, you use the cat commands. And LPR commands is basically a spool file of line printing. If you want to print any lines, as we know for the line printing, spool files for the line printing. CD command is basically used to change the directory. LPRM cancel is basically used to remove jobs from the line printer queue. Okay. CHGRP, this command is basically used to change the file group. If you want to change the file group, then you use this command. ls is basically used to listing all the contents in the particular directory. Chomd, this is basically used to change file mode. Change the file mode. Make directory is used to make a new directory. CP is basically used to copy the file data, whatever the files you are using at that particular directory. and you want to copy all the data which is in that files to another files, then you use cp. More pages display file data at your terminals. It will display the data at your terminals. Okay. Now file command is basically determine the file types, which type of file you are using. MV commands is basically used to move the files from one to another places or another directory. Find command is basically used to find the files. Pwd command is used find working directory. Pwd P for printing working directory. In which directory you are working and you want to print that directory name, then you use the pwd command. Grep commands is basically search files for regular expressions, same as it is M or RM or RMDIR directory is basically used to remove the files or the directory. If you want to remove any files or any directory, then you use this command. RM or RMDIR. Head is basically used to give the few lines. Gives first few lines. Tail is basically used to print last lines from the file. If you want to print some lines from any files, then we will use the tail that prints the last lines of the files. And head prints the first few lines of the file. Just is used for the justification, text justification program. Right? And many more commands are used, but these are the most basically commands which are basically used by the users or the clients. So this is a what the essential commands which is used under the Linux operating system. Okay, if you have any query regarding these commands, whatever I have taught you today, then please comment in the comment section box. Okay, thank you so much.